Shabbat Shalom. We welcome you to Congregation Beth Israel as together we enter into the spirit of the Sabbath, enjoying beautiful music, meaningful prayers, a beautiful message, a perfect way to enter the Sabbath spirit. Life and joy and peace await us. Welcome. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. Good Shabbos to each of you. How lovely it is to welcome you into the sanctuary, setting aside so many challenges that we've encountered through the days and weeks since the storm. It's nice to set it aside, even forget about it for a few moments. And as Shabbat begins, it affords us the opportunity to appreciate the blessings that we still know and feel and share in God's presence, the blessings of family with us, dearest friends, and hope that bridges one day to the next. And certainly as we celebrate Shabbat in our beautiful sanctuary, we feel that we're in the right place at the right time. I know that I do. And so as we enter into the spirit of Shabbat, there's nothing better than sharing beautiful songs and music to brighten our tone and to give us hope for the next hour and days to come. Cantor.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
We continue with the Nigun, or wordless melody, followed by Shalom Aleichem on page 24, as we enter Shabbat together in peace. Yai dai 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 dai. Yai dai 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 dai. Yai dai 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 dai. Yai dai 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 dai. Yai dai 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 dai. Yai dai 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 dai. Yai dai 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 dai. Yai dai 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 dai. Yai dai 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 dai
In our prayer book now, we turn to page 2 and 3. It's a joy to invite Ellen Joseph to lead us in the blessing over the Sabbath lights.
As these Shabbat candles give light to all who behold them, so may we, by our lives, give light to all who behold us. As their brightness reminds us of the generations of Israel who have kindled light, so may we, in our own day, be among those who kindle light.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel
Blessed are you, Adonai our God, sovereign of the universe, who hallows us with mitzvot, commanding us to kindle the light of Shabbat.
Thank you. Thank you.
We continue with our call to worship Baruch Hu, page 28. Please rise.
Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMevorach.
Page 31, together. Praise to you, Adonai our God, from whom the evening flows. Your wisdom sets the way on which time and season glide. Your breath guides the sail of the stars, creator of the tide of time and light. You guide the current of day into night. As heaven spans to infinity, you set its course for eternity. Praise to you, Adonai our God, from whom the evening flows. Baruch atah Adonai, Hama'ariv Aravim. Page 33, responsively. Wisdom and wonder, passion and instruction, story and symbol.
All these things your Torah gives to us.
And the more we devote ourselves to it, the more it grows and gives.
What could be a truer token of your abiding love
than this holiest of your works and the living language that gives it form? Baruch atah Adonai, Ohev Amo Yisrael.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad, Baruch Shem אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך, והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבבך, ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם להוד על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, תהייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם אלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם.
Page 37, together. Love your God with every heartbeat, with every breath, with every conscious act. Keep in mind the words I command you today. Teach them to your children. Talk about them at work, whether you are tired or you are rested. Let them guide the work of your hands. Keep them in the forefront of your vision. Do not leave them at the doorway of your house or outside your gate. They are reminders to do all of my mitzvot, so that you can be holy for God. I am Adonai your God. I led you out of Egypt to become your God. I am Adonai your God. Page 39, responsively. In a world torn by violence and pain, a world far from wholeness and peace, give us courage to say, Adonai, there is one God in heaven and earth. From bondage in Egypt, we were delivered. At Sinai, we bound ourselves to your way.
Inspired by prophets and instructed by sages, time and again we overcame oppressive forces.
Though our failings are many and our faults are great, it has been our glory to bear witness to our God, keeping alive in dark ages your vision of a world redeemed.
Let us continue to work for the day when the nations will be one in peace. Then shall we rejoice as Israel did, singing on the shores of the sea.
page 43. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Adonai, help us to walk with good companions, to live with hope in our hearts and eternity in our thoughts, that we may lie down in peace and rise up waiting to do your will. Baruch atah Adonai, hapurei sukat shalom aleinu, ve'al kol amo Yisrael, ve'al Yerushalayim.
Page 44, together. The people of Israel shall keep Shabbat, observing Shabbat throughout the ages as a covenant for all time. It is a sign for all time between me and the people of Israel. For in 6 days Adonai made heaven and earth, and on the seventh day God ceased from work and was refreshed. We continue with Hatfilah, beginning on pages 46 and 48. Please rise.
Adonai sefatai tiftach ufi yagi tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu ve'Elohei avoteinu v'imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, V'konei Hakol, V'zocher Chasdei Avot V'imahot, U'mevii Geula Livnei V'neihem, Leman Shemo B'Ahava, Melech Ozer U'Moshia U'Magen, Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham, V'ezrat Sarah.
Page 50, together. You are forever mighty, Adonai. You give life to all. You sustain life through love, giving life to all. Through great compassion, supporting the fallen, healing the sick, freeing the captive, keeping faith with those who sleep in the dust. Who is like you, source of mighty acts? Who resembles you, a sovereign who takes and gives life, causing deliverance to spring up, and faithfully giving life to all? Blessed are you, Adonai, who gives life to all. Baruch atah Adonai, mechaye hakol. Atah kadosh v'shimcha kadosh, u'kadoshim b'chol yom yehalelucha selah. Baruch atah Adonai, ha'el hakadosh. You are holy, your name is holy, and those who are holy praise you every day. Blessed are you, Adonai, the holy God. Please be seated.
Page 55 together. May these hours of rest and renewal open our hearts to joy and our minds to truth. May all who struggle find rest on this day. May all who suffer find solace. May all who hurt find healing on this day. May all who despair find purpose. May all who hunger find fulfillment on this day. And may this day fulfill its promise. Baruch atah Adonai, Mekadesh ha-Shabbat. Page 57 together. You are with us in our prayer, our love, and our doubt, in our longing to feel your presence and do your will. You are the still, clear voice within us. Therefore, O God, when doubt troubles us, when anxiety makes us tremble, when pain clouds the mind, we look inward for the answer to our prayers. There may we find you, and there find courage, insight, and endurance. And let our worship bring us closer to one another, that all Israel and all who seek you may find new strength for your service. Baruch atah Adonai, she'otcha levarcha birah na'avod. God of goodness, we give thanks for the gift of life, wonder beyond words, for the awareness of soul, our light within, for the world around us so filled with beauty, for the richness of the earth which day by day sustains us. For all these and more we offer thanks. Baruch atah Adonai, hatov shimcha ulcha na'eh lehodot. Grant abundant peace to Israel, your people, forever. For you are the sovereign God of all peace. May it be pleasing to you to bless your people Israel in every season and moment with your peace. Blessed are you, Adonai, who blesses your people Israel with peace. Baruch atah Adonai, hamvarech et amo Yisrael b'shalom.
Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam.
We now take a moment for silent prayer.
Our prayers and music on Shabbat enter us into a feeling of hope that we can overcome anything that may hold us back, physically, emotionally, and spiritually. And there are those in our families and circles of friends for whom we pray this night that they too may overcome all that holds them back. Especially we are thinking of Morgan Aaron, Larry Wiesel, Fern Winograd, Fran Fleischman, Rachel Bishop, Karen Abramson. For them and for all who are dear to us, we share now a Misha Berach, a prayer for their health and well-being. The words can be found on page 253. Please join us.
Before us, help us find the courage to
I'm delighted that this evening we also celebrate a very special blessing, the blessing of love and marriage. We call them quinquennial anniversaries, the multiple of 5 years of such marriages. And so we sent invitations, and for those who responded, I'm pleased to invite them by name and by year to take their place here so we can extend a special blessing to them. Sarah and Giovanni Dinnis, celebrating 5 years. They've been good years. Ashley and Gavin Roseman, celebrating 10 years. Debbie and Rick Kaplan, celebrating 25 years. Barbara and Howard Stern, celebrating 45 years. Mikor Ahava, source of all love, these loving couples stand before you and before this congregation to seek your blessing upon their love and marriage. Be they many years or few, they have been filled with everything that they ever thought these years might be, certainly filled with joy. And so they find in each other's company that that joy is heightened and enriched because they find love and partnership in the one whom they married. And there are challenges too, but they find in each other's presence the source of strength that they need when challenges confront them, and lo and behold, they go around those challenges and find joy again. And so we're so pleased that now we celebrate these anniversaries and ask your blessing to be upon them so that more years may unfold in front of them as partners, companions, lovers, and joyful friends. So we ask, Yivarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha, may God bless you and protect you. Ya'er Adonai panav elecha v'chuneka, may God's countenance shine upon you and be gracious to you. Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yasem lecha shalom, may God grant you all that you wish for yourselves and those who are touched by your lives. May God grant you life and strength, mitzvah, much love, and the greatest blessing of all, many more years to celebrate in peace. Amen. Mazel tov to each of you.
Well, these recent weeks following the hurricane have been painful and difficult, we all know. And though we've been heartened by the resilient spirit of our city and by the outpouring of love and generosity from friends and neighbors throughout the world, each time we travel through the city, we're reminded of just how much devastation and loss there has been. In front of our homes or the homes of our neighbors are seemingly abstract sculptures of memories, enormous piles of once treasured belongings now waiting to be hauled off to a landfill, but presently reminding us and marking a home destroyed. It is as if these homes have been turned inside out. The structure is still intact, but its contents are spilled out before it. What was once concealed by the house's facade is now revealed to all on the curb. During the Memorial Day flood just a couple of years ago, when a similar phenomenon was occurring, my wife and I were walking around the neighborhood looking for people who needed help emptying their homes and creating one of these piles of memories. The home that we found was in need happened to be owned by an elderly Jewish couple, too old and frail for the physical labor. They were really an adorably sweet couple, truly a Bubby and Zadie. And as we removed items along with other volunteers, it was a sad and depressing and awful experience, one that I'm sure many of the people in this room have experienced themselves, either at your own homes or that of a friend's. And because of the sad nature, I needed a laugh or a moment of levity in the worst way as I held back my tears watching this family throw away their treasured possessions and sentimental items. So at one point, another volunteer and I were asked to remove the bed from the master bedroom. We struggled to remove the heavy, waterlogged mattress, but finally, with one big grunt, we were able to turn it over. Beneath it, we revealed that the sweet, innocent Bubby had given us that moment of levity we needed because she'd hidden something from her husband of 60 years that must have been her deepest and darkest secret. Between the mattress and the box spring, hidden so nobody would ever find it, was the little old lady's very own copy of 50 Shades of Grey. This story gives me a smile when I need it most these days, and I hope it does for you too. But as I thought about the story of this little old lady concealing her deep, dark secret, and as I thought of our own times when all of us conceal our behavior, it reminded me of this week's Torah portion, Nitzavim. This portion, which we read again in just a few weeks on Yom Kippur, describes the renewal of the covenant between God and the people of Israel, just before our ancestors were to enter the Promised Land. The terms of the covenant are described using new language, but the ideas are very familiar. God will give us the land, protect us and guide us, but only if we are faithful to God by avoiding the worship of false deities and remembering to keep all of God's commandments. If, however, we do not keep God's commandments or stray from God, there will be punishments, and the Torah lists the many ways that God will enforce the terms of God's covenant. Yet after listing some of these punishments, the Torah includes a rather curious verse. Hanistaot Adonai Eloheinu v'nigalot lanu l'vanenu ad olam la'asot et kol divrei haTorah hazot, it writes. Concealed acts concern Adonai our God, but with overt acts, it is for us and our children to apply all the provisions of this teaching. And our commentators differ on the meaning of this verse. Many of them argue that the significant part of the verse is the part that talks about the overt acts, which are for us and our children to apply the provisions of the teaching. Concealed acts, these commentators argue, are those misdeeds that are performed in private with no witnesses, and thus only God can judge them. But the verse intends to teach us that for these overt acts, these sins committed publicly, the community must hold the wrongdoer accountable. We often cite the Talmudic dictum, Kol Yisrael Aravim ze bazeh, all Israel is responsible for one another, to indicate our responsibility to care for one another. But the original context of these words were actually to describe our responsibility, to remind us that each of us are responsible for each other's actions, and we must be sure to rebuke those who act wrongly within our own community. It's for this reason that when we offer our confessional prayers on Yom Kippur, we do not pray in the singular, saying, Al chet shechatati, for the sin that I have committed, but rather, Al chet shechatanu, for the sin that we have committed. When we are all responsible for one another, these commentators teach, when one of us sins, all of us sin, and all of us must together seek forgiveness and atonement from God. But there's one commentator who actually disagrees with this majority opinion. Ramban understands that the concealed acts are really the important part of this verse. According to Ramban, these concealed acts refer to those actions which are concealed even from the one who performs them. Many of us conceal our behavior when we are embarrassed by it. It's why that little old lady hid her copy of the book beneath the mattress. It's why I pretend that I'm not paying attention whenever the movie Pretty Woman comes on TV, though my wife has seen through that pretty clearly at this point. But we also conceal our behavior not just when we're embarrassed, but when we realize afterwards that we've been wrong. Sometimes it's easier to pretend we didn't do something, or to pretend that the thing we did wasn't wrong at all. Sometimes it's easier than truly fessing up, admitting our mistake, and seeking forgiveness. What Ramban's interpretation to this verse teaches us is that perhaps we are so good at concealing our mistakes that we're actually able to sometimes conceal them from ourselves. Most of us try to view ourselves as relatively decent people. We inhabit a personal mythical Lake Wobegon in which all of us are above average. It can be uncomfortable or even painful to sometimes think about our faults and our shortcomings. Yet we do truly holy work when we dig past our superficial and overt mistakes that anyone can see and begin to look through those dark corners of our soul which conceal the most fundamental shortcomings of our character. It might be an arrogance or a narcissism that we prefer to pretend isn't there, a greed or ambition which sometimes leads us to success, but other times can lead us astray. Or it might be a selfishness or cynicism which leaves us unfeeling towards those who are in need of our help. None of us want to see ourselves as selfish or arrogant or greedy, and we have learned to conceal these shortcomings from each other and even from ourselves. Yet all of us have these flaws and many more, and this is the season to reveal them to ourselves once again so we can do the hard work of eliminating them from our souls. This Shabbat is Shabbat Slichot, the very last Shabbat of the month of Elul, the last Shabbat before Rosh Hashanah. We have just a few days left of Cheshbon HaNefesh, of taking account of our souls before we begin the 10 days of repentance. Our overt flaws, those momentary lapses of judgments or mistakes made when in a bad mood, can be easy to acknowledge. Yet each of us have flaws that we carefully conceal from one another and shortcomings that we conceal even from ourselves. But tomorrow evening, as we join together to offer our Slichot prayers, we'll recite the poem Adon HaSlichot, which reminds us that God is not only the master of forgiveness, but also Yodea Kol HaNistarot. God is the one that knows all which is concealed. We can conceal our flaws from ourselves and from each other, but we cannot conceal them from God. During the coming days, our souls are like the houses we pass by each day, inside out, our innermost flaws revealed before God. So may we, as we enter this holiest time of year, cease to try concealing our flaws and begin to try to acknowledge them. Thus we can begin our process of teshuvah, helping us to change, to repair, and to grow. Just as God reveals all that is concealed, may we too reveal all of our carefully hidden flaws. And just as God forgives us for our mistakes, may we learn to forgive one another and even ourselves. Thus together we will make the new year not one filled with evil that we must conceal, but rather with kindness, goodness, and love, which we can learn to reveal to ourselves and to each other each and every day. It is how we will fix our homes. It's how we'll repair a city. It's how we'll also fix ourselves and repair our souls and work towards a year of greater sweetness, joy, and peace. Amen. Please rise.
As we take our places before the Holy Ark, we appreciate the gift that has come down to us, the covenant that God makes with each of us, reflected in the teachings of Torah. And this family, like many others, but also in very special ways, has embraced the Torah and its teachings and enriched each of us in our city, in our congregation, in our homes. And so it's our faith and trust on the threshold of the new year that as we pass His Torah and its teachings, that it will truly go mechayil l'chayil, from strength to strength, from great-grandparents to grandparents to parents to child.
Romamu Adonai Eloheinu, V'yishtav chavu lahar kodsho, ki kadosh Adonai Eloheinu. exalt Adonai our God, and bow down toward God's holy mountain, for Adonai our God is holy.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Echad Eloheinu, Gadol Adonenu, Kadosh Shemo.
In our prayer book now, we turn to the bottom of page 282 and 287 as we join in Aleinu.
Aleinu לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונם, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא. ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד ושמו אחד.
Page 294. We take this time now to recall the memory of those, the anniversary of whose death is observed this Shabbat. Lovingly we remember Edel Belilovsky, Lucy Belilovsky, Mary Cohen, Eva Green, Harry Green, Janice Greenberg, Pearl Gross, Herman Hoffman, Marilyn Kratchmer, Alan Cronenberg, Barry Mintz, Carol Turboff, Edward Weil, Pearl Kaplan Abramson, Archie Bruto, Maria Kreinina, Philip Mallon, Edith Reed, Dorothy Tauber, Hyman Waller, Sandra Fine, Jewel Gottlieb, Sidney Karen, Sidney Katzoff, Clayton Lehman, Elaine Rabe, Alan Rosenthal, Fanny Schwartz, Harry Strisver, Leon Weiner, Adele Andel, Erwin Bin, Walter Kahn, Jeanette Lind, Fred Mazo, Rosa Nachmanson, Maynard Smith, Ann Solovitz, Richard Strauss, William Weiss, Ezra Berkowitz, Richie Bowles, Michael Buckman, Bessie Finger, Annie Jacobs, Rose Lapidus, Robert Rissman, Annette Rocchio, Ethelyn Rubenstein, Lenore Schwartz, Leopold Baer, Richard Berman, Ethel Cohen, Max Freeman, Ben Zion Krieger, Joseph Lebo, Rita Lee, Saul Mintz, H. Walter Pye Sr., Evelyn Schlater, Eugene Steinberger, Karen Weintraub, Vanny Warnoff, Max Bernstein, Elaine Friedman, Abraham Har Evan, Bernard Paul, David Rest, Ralph Salomon, Herman Schwartz, Marvin Schwartz, Melvin Tots, Dorothy Zindler, Sylvia David, Victor Leon. In their memory and in their honor, let us rise as a congregation to recite the words of Kaddish. Yitgadal v'yitgadash shemei Rabbah, v'yamad yivrach chirutei v'yamlich malchutei, v'chayechon v'yamechon v'chayei d'chol Beit Yisrael, v'galau v'zman kariv imru amen. Yehei shmei Rabbah mevorach le'alam l'amei amaya, Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitba'ar v'yitomam v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar v'yitale v'yitalal shmeir gudasha brichu, le'elam min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbachata v'nechamata, damiram v'yama v'imru amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'romav, Hu Yaseh Shalom, Aleinu v'al kol Yisrael, v'imru amen. May the source of peace send peace to all who mourn and comfort to all the bereaved among us, as together we say, amen. Ricky? The Sabbath day with the sweetness of the wine. Our bar mitzvah Ryan will lead us. We can join him on page 5.
The heaven and the earth were finished in all their array. On the seventh day, God finished the work that God had been doing. And God ceased on the seventh day from all the work God had done. And God blessed the seventh day and declared it holy, because on it God ceased from all the work of creation that God had done. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kishanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu b'shabbat kodsho v'ahava u'ratzon kinchilanu Zikaron and Maaseh Bereshit Ki hu yom techila Lemikra Hinchaltanu Baruch atah Adonai Mekadesh HaShabbat Amen.
Shabbat Shalom. My name is Bruce Levy, and I have the privilege of serving as president of Beth Israel's Board of Trustees, and I'm very glad that we're back in the sanctuary for the first time since the flooding. Mazel tov to the family of Ryan Joseph, who is becoming a bar mitzvah this Shabbat. Tonight we welcome a group of Israelis Red Cross who have been in Houston for the last several days, taking care of many people in our community devastated by Hurricane Harvey. We welcome these ambassadors. We welcome you as ambassadors from the State of Israel and are grateful for your leadership and help throughout this crisis. We're also grateful to share that Congregation Beth Israel and the Schlenker School will be hosting classes from Beth Yeshurun Early Childhood Day School, Beth Yeshurun's Religious School, and several classes from the ERJCC's Bertha Alice Center and their after-school program, while renovation and restoration continues on their respective campuses. We are glad to be back in the sanctuary tonight. We're still undergoing repairs, but we're looking forward to welcoming everyone for the High Holy Days here next week. Tomorrow evening beginning at 9:30 p.m., we will hold our Slichot service in the Gordon Chapel. This service marks the formal beginning of our High Holy Days, and we will be using a brand new prayer book recently published by the CCAR. All are welcome for a reception beginning before the service at 9 p.m. in the Wolf Tumum Hall. Sunday morning at 10 a.m., we will begin our Coffee Talk series with clinical social worker Lori Silver in the Shocktail Library. She will focus on balancing the need to take care of our relationships while also managing our children. This program is co-sponsored by our Inclusion Committee and is part of our WAYS program. The High Holy Day schedule has an important update. We will only host one evening service on Wednesday, September 20th for Erev Rosh Hashanah, beginning at 6:30 p.m. Our morning services will proceed as previously scheduled, and our live streaming will be available. If you have any questions about your High Holy Day entries, please contact the temple office. We look forward to sharing the new year with you and your families. If you're still looking for ways to help as the community rebuilds from Hurricane Harvey, please reference your Friday night guide for organizations looking for volunteers and ways to donate. If you have been impacted by the flood and you have not heard from us directly, please join us and visit us at the membership table tonight. After services, please feel free to visit the membership table and introduce yourself to me and my fellow trustees on the Bema tonight, Debbie Kaplan, and the president of Schlenker School, Leslie Margolis, and of course, our vice president, Rosalind Heiken. We look forward to welcoming you. Shabbat Shalom.
Our vice president pulling double duty as vice president and also proud grandmother. We'll conclude our service this evening with the singing of Adon Olam. You can find the words on page 321. Please rise. following our closing benediction. We ask you please stay in your places so the clergy can exit first. We'll look forward to wishing you a Shabbat Shalom at the Oneg. Eloheinu v'Elohei Avotenu, our God and God of all our ancestors, we stand before you on this last Shabbat of the year 5777, and we hope that as we gather in the coming days to welcome in a new year, that we'll find strength and courage in community and find hope in your presence, that together we'll water through any storms, that will make our way from despair towards hope, and that together we'll look forward to a year of sweetness, health, and joy for all of your children everywhere. Amen. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat service. We're so pleased that we can share the services through live streaming. You are a part of our congregational community. If you have a need to call or write us, we would love to hear you beyond this beautiful service so that we can continue to deepen our relationship and our connection as a caring congregational community. I wish you the very best as the week continues, and I look forward to seeing you again next time. Shabbat Shalom.